These Republican leaders have not been content with attacks on me, or on my wife, or on my sons. No, not content with that. They now include my little dog, Falla.
Things, faces, friends, places. Years and moments half forgotten. Laughs, fears, songs, and tears. Memories are made of this. I remember a time, and what a time, when the war you thought was going to be over last summer, and should have been over last summer, showed every horrible sign of lasting through to next summer. The British browned off, brassed off. The Americans fed up and frozen up. That's how they were. German headquarters, East Prussia, July 1944. All that remained after the explosion of a German bomb, left there in a German briefcase by a German in order to slay the head German. Yet apart from a pair of pierced eardrums, the Fuhrer had got away with it. The others that he visited in hospital hadn't been quite so lucky. And for the really unlucky ones, a state funeral with all the trimmings that only the Nazis could conceive. While 60 officers were being executed for their part in the plot, Hitler was telling Mussolini just what an omen his providential escape had been. When Il Duce departed, he expressed his hopes that his friend was indeed right, though in his own mind, it's more probable that he had his doubts. On the plains of Poland, the Red Army had been gulping great chunks of German-held territory, until at last it had come to a halt in the eastern suburbs of Warsaw. But only a halt, to draw breath. Meanwhile, further south in Bucharest, another Nazi satellite nation had thrown in the sponge. As Russian armor rolled into the streets of her capital, Romania gave official and public demonstration of having had enough of Hitler's war. While way up north, this was Copenhagen, patrolled by Nazi tanks and police trying their worst to prove to the Danes that a consistent policy of sabotage and non-cooperation only brought trouble. But the more your foe hits out, the more you realize how sore you've made him. Trouble to the east, to the north, and the west? Well, the Siegfried Line wasn't much use anymore, for already in several places the Allies were through it, in strength and with cigars. Yet though they had a strong foot in the door, the Allies were finding the going heavy indeed. Across the flooded fields of the Reichswald, the British slogged painfully forward. In Dutch village or German town, slow march in the same routine. Winkle them out from house and barn, where a knock on the door brings only a grenade or a spray of lead. And before the Americans, too, strong resistance, and the ever-present threat of floods from the German-held Ruhr dams. And the Americans had more than one battle on their hands, for back in the States, election time had come round again. War or peace, every 4 years an election. Who was to be president? As if you didn't know. Especially after that attack on the Republicans over the dog, Fala.
Well, of course, I don't resent attacks. And my family don't resent attacks. But Fala does resent attacks. Fala's Scotch. And being a Scottie, as soon as he learned that the Republican fiction writers in Congress and out had concocted a story that I'd left him behind on an Aleutian island and had sent a destroyer back to find him at a cost to the taxpayers of $2 or $3 or $8 or $20 million, his Scotch soul was furious. He has not been the same dog since.
So they voted FDR in again. Now everyone could relax and get on with the war.